Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof.
Looking, throwing in the end zone. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Little roller up along first. Behind the back. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Now I just need my microphone. All right, there we go. All right, we are back at Sports and Swords. It's episode 164. I think my glasses are on crooked. It's been a great morning. It's Monday morning, as usual. We are here with Sports and Swords every Monday morning and Saturday mornings around 10 a.m. So if you like our videos, be sure to give them a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button. You can also find Sports and Swords anywhere podcasts are played at or on our website, which is www.sportsandsorts.libsyn.com. I am one of your hosts. My name is Shane Moore.
And I'm the Bry Man.
And you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ShaneandtheBryman. You can also find us on Twitter at Shane and Bryman, where we post all our videos and other newsworthy topics. And lastly, if you comment during the show, we will put it up on the screen. So you can join in on the conversation. We usually holler back, and we usually sometimes have a little bit of a back and forth with the commentary. But anyway, today we have some interesting topics to discuss. AAF, I had put in the title that it is also known as Average AF, but it gets 2.9 million viewers on opening night. Is this bad for the NBA, and will it last? We're going to be talking about that. Golf is also back in hailstorms, but Phil Mickelson comes out and melts all that ice with his clubs. They were on fire. He finishes the game. He finished the match today, and we will discuss what this means as we get close to the Masters season. And stop me if you've heard this before, but Julian Edelman is a lying, cheating piece of We will let Brian get into that shortly, and of course, we'll also touch on some Patriots fatigue. But before we get into all that, Bill Walton, man. The dude ate a lit cupcake, candle and all. I just took house to bite. He got dared, and he stepped up to the plate.
He's just a Superman. He really is. He's unbelievable. It was his birthday, I think. Or it was the other guy's birthday.
Yeah.
Somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
They put a candle in a cupcake. Mm-hmm. They lit the candle. He put the entire cupcake in his mouth, ate the candle. And the other guy was like, "Oh my God, Bill."
Well, he said, eat it with the candle. Yeah. And he did. He was like, I can't believe he did that.
He's just a strange, fearless man. He really is.
That's what happens when you're a deadhead your whole life, you know? You got a little crazy. You get a little crazy. But anyway,
he's unreal.
Yes, he is. But it was hilarious. That was great.
They play clips of his commentary on the Howard Stern show all the time, and because he just says some of the most outlandish stuff. I swear he's doing it just to. I think he's just trying to throw off, the guy, the
announcer, the other commentator. Yeah.
I think he's just, because he just, and he'll get onto something and he'll just work it and work it and work it, and like the other guy's like, Bill, we gotta concentrate on the game here. It's just unbelievable. I would not want to be his broadcast partner. I mean, he keep you on your toes, but he will not. He rarely concentrates on the game in front of him. Rarely.
Man. With you saying work it and work it, makes me want to take that clip out and do something with Missy Elliott's "Work It." That's popped into my head right away. It was like, I was like, I got to slow his voice down a little bit, put it in there, and just have that beat. Work it. Work it. All right, we got a great show. Let's go.
You
You are listening to Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bry Man.
All right, so AAF.
Which stands for, what is it, the American Alliance of Football or something?
It stands for Average AF is what it stands for. Beats NBA in a head-to-head matchup in ratings, but will the AAF last? One, I'm gonna touch on this briefly. I don't have a lot to say about this, but one, this was so off my radar that I forgot that this was even going on until I woke up in the morning and saw that Trent Richardson was trending. And two, Christian Hackenberg kept forgetting.
Still sucks.
He kept forgetting that he was mic'd up. I'm gonna play a little clip. Are you ready?
Still sucks, by the way.
Yeah. Here you go. Ready? Here. Let's listen to this. If it'll load, of course.
They have not. Here they come. Third and long. They get the job done again.
How the did he get in?
He should be used to that. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. It's not like he played a lot in the NFL.
But anyway.
He's every bit as bad as he was in the NFL, though.
He's not good. And this, I feel like this may last more than a year. It may, but there is no way that over the course of the season that this dominates the NBA. I watched a bunch of the highlights. I'll put in quotations, highlights, and it was garbage. I mean, I'm happy for the players that are able to, make some decent change by getting picked up for this league. And I'm sure, the leagues like this will spark an NFL career or two.
Maybe.
But yeah, maybe. But that's if it can last. I mean, the XFL is coming back next year. Yeah. And how watered down can you have these two leagues? I mean, unless they're going to be setting up something like an AFC-NFC rivalry thing where they're going to eventually merge. But who knows? I mean, as of now, this is just so not worth my time.
Yeah. I actually think there were some highlights and some lowlights. The highlights for them were, listen, they got 2.9 million viewers. Right out of the gate in the first week. That's the good news. Here's the bad news. That was a CBS televised game. Mm-hmm. From here on out, all the games are televised on networks like TNT and I think on their own live streaming channel. Mm-hmm. So the numbers are only going to go down. It is not likely that they're going to go up.
Right.
The one thing I did there were a couple things that
you never want to have to really, really search for your football. Especially low-level football like this. The one thing I actually did kind of enjoy was I liked how when they went to an official review, they go into the booth and you can hear them and you can hear the back and what they're saying to each other. I would love to see the NFL do something like that. That's actually pretty cool. Well, that really brings that conversation right into your home. All this stuff is really cool. That kind of stuff is stuff that is the only thing that can really come of anything eking out into the NFL. I mean, because the XFL did cool things too, and they slowly implemented some of that stuff in the NFL. It took a long time.
Here's the bad news here's the bad news though. You had one stadium that was practically empty in Arizona. I actually remember they showed almost like a panoramic view of it. There was nobody there. Yeah, maybe a couple thousand tops.
It was worse than the Chargers.
Yeah, you had some just generally awful play because let's face it, these aren't even NFL cast-offs. A lot of these guys, some of these guys are just maybe not even practice squad NFL guys. These are less than that. That just goes to show you Christian Hackenberg is actually less than a practice squad player in this kind of league. So the quality
that's where Nathan Peterman should go play. He can go there. He'll only throw 50% picks.
But he may end up there. Now, what will probably happen is that when this goes out of business in a year, a lot of these guys will probably go to the XFL. Here's the other thing that should scare you about the AAF too, is that 2.9 million sounds okay. Maybe even slightly sustainable. It's going to take a dramatic drop, I think, from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah.
But the XFL, in its debut, way back when, I think got 54 million viewers.
Tim Callahan just
and it's still only lasted
9.5 mil in the first game. The first game of the season, he said 9.5.
I thought I read something obscene, 54 million, but But it was
unless that's the rating that they got, the 9.5.
Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe
because the ratings are different than the overall number. I don't know.
I don't
know how it works. The Nielsen.
I don't either. I don't either. But I thought I read somewhere that the XFL and it had like 54 million viewers for its first game or something like that. Maybe it's different. Maybe not.
That was heavily marketed though. That was like heavily marketed.
It was, and you had the whole. You had Vince backing it, just as he'll be backing this one. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is. They still only lasted a year.
Yeah.
So, this just doesn't seem like a very sustainable thing, even at that amount of viewers. And I didn't see any of the rest of the stadiums. Look, you got to hope that they have money to back this thing heavily so that they can maybe take a loss in the first year and then just hope that over time it builds up. It's so hard though. You are competing with these others. Here's the thing though, like when NFL ends, people actually want to start tuning into hockey and to basketball because now you're in the second half of those seasons and things are starting to pick up there. So you have some football fatigue because, football's over. Now, maybe, the draft starts you have the draft in April. So maybe at that point, maybe it'll pick up a little bit then too. People start to be in the football mindset again. I mean, the Super Bowl just ended. I don't know. It's tough. It's
Tim said that that's the rating. 54 million weekend viewers for all games.
Okay.
Still, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of viewers.
But like I said,
that was heavily marketed. Like that was extremely marketed, and it was.
Yeah.
And it's with Vince McMahon, he's a brilliant man. Like he can. But overall, it wasn't a great product, but he was able to get a ton of viewers looking in on it to start the season.
He was.
And then you just kind of quickly realized, this isn't really what I want.
Like I said, with the drop-off happening here where you're going to have a lot of these viewers who were there this week are going to drop off, and then you're going to like these secondary cable networks too, like TNT, and then again, like their own live streaming. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where the revenue comes from. And then if they can't get people in the stadium, I mean, at some point these stadiums are going to be like, we're losing money just opening the stadium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that Arizona thing was just a disaster. It was really bad. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And the quality of play. Although I did enjoy that one hit where that quarterback just got completely... Wow, that guy had worse pocket presence than Ryan Tannehill. That guy was not even coming from his blind side. He got wasted and the helmet just popped off his head and went like 5 yards behind him. It was great. It was great. I mean, and they didn't throw a flag, which is really cool. Like, that's the thing I kind of like about this. Like, you can actually hit the quarterback.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Super safe. All right, so sticking with football, I see on our shared list today that we use this app, the AnyList. We mentioned it before. It's a great app. Anytime you want to share anything like with multiple people, it's a great app to use.
It is. I like it.
That you posted Julian Edelman is a lying, cheating SOB. So I want the Bry Man to give his thoughts on Edelman and him keeping quiet about his PED suspension.
I just think it's kind of funny that the NFL season started and is basically closing with Julian Edelman PED-related news. So I want to read you something here. I'm probably going to read the whole thing. This was from PFT, which is Pro Football Talk. Here's the article, okay? Patriots receiver Julian Edelman ended the season with the Super Bowl 53 MVP award. He started the season with a 4-game PED suspension. And Edelman consistently refuses to discuss any of the details related to whatever it was that caused him to violate the policy against the use of performance enhancers. Mm-hmm. People don't know what happened, Edelman told kiss-ass Peter King of Football Morning in America. I can't sit here.
That in there?
No, that was editing. I can't sit here and, due to league rules, say what happened. And then here's where the article picks up. That's simply not true. The confidentiality provision of the PED policy protects the player. If the player chooses to waive his confidentiality rights, he can. If he wants to talk about the circumstances leading to the positive, he's entitled to. Waiving confidentiality comes with a risk, however. As revised in the aftermath of the current collective bargaining agreement, the PED policy permits the NFL's management council to disclose information in order to correct public claims made by the player or his representatives about the discipline. In past years, players could claim whatever they wanted to claim, and the league could say nothing. Now, if the player offers this part is in here, a BS excuse or explanation for a positive PED test, the league has the right to call BS. Here comes the BS from the basis for Edelman's refusal to talk. Technically, the league could call BS on that. I'm surprised they kept using BS so much. Technically, the league could call BS on that if it wants, but the NFL likely doesn't want to tarnish the Super Bowl MVP by issuing a statement that Edelman has made an incorrect public claim about his inability to discuss the PED violation. The aforementioned Kiss-Ass King also asked Edelman if he believes the suspension was unjust. I'm not going down that road, Edelman said. I served what I had to serve, and I accept that. I know a lot of people were disappointed in me for it. I apologize. It'll never happen again. Okay. Well, so the bottom line is, to me, that's almost like a confession. I mean, that's just sort of like saying, yeah, something happened. It won't happen again. Yeah, you got caught. You got caught. We all know you did. You served your 4 games. But here's the thing. So in our any list, I think I mentioned to you that I'm sorry, I sent you a text and I said, there's this thing that I'm dubbing Patriot fatigue. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. I think the Patriots are actually benefactors of this Patriot fatigue thing. Because if this was let's say this was a Major League Baseball story, it would be a big deal. Mm-hmm. Big deal. Because we know how steroids and PEDs are treated in baseball. It's elevated. It's at a completely different level. Yeah. In football, it is consistently swept under the rug. And it's forgotten very quickly. The guys get their suspension, they serve their suspension.
They can play in the playoffs, and they can win the Super Bowl MVP.
And they keep right. And and in baseball, if you're suspended for PEDs, even if you come back, you are not eligible to play in the postseason. Yep. So a guy like Julian Edelman, here's the other thing too. So you get, in the NFL, he got suspended for a quarter of a season. It's 4 games. In baseball, a quarter of a season is 40 games. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it's relative, right? But it's not the same. I mean, just the fact that it's only 4 games, and the Patriots, of course, being able to sustain suspensions like that, as they have consistently done over the past couple of years, mm-hmm. That kind of takes away from like the severity of it. Maybe if it was 8 games, that might raise an eyebrow.
Well, I mean, that'd be more in line with the MLB.
Right.
I think even if you did 4 or 6 games, if you did that, but didn't let them play in the postseason, I think that would be a huge deal.
But here's the beauty, and I honestly, I think the Patriots have almost sort of perpetrated this in a way, and I can't say that I would blame them, but going back to this thing called Patriot fatigue, basically how I define it is that the Patriots have just pulled and done so much crap over the past 2 decades that at some point,
tired of talking about.
At some point, you get numb to it. Like as a fan, you are starting to become numb to it because the Patriots and cheating and scandal or PEDs or whatever pops up in the news, it seems like every other week in the NFL. And eventually, even though as a fan you probably believe 9 out of 10 things that you hear about them, you move on quickly because you're so used to it. And I think this is benefiting the Patriots because if you're going to move on that quickly, it means you're just not going to pay much attention to it. And you know what? The Patriots, to their credit, they've done this. They keep doing it. Every year, in every single year in which they have won a championship, and that is 6 years, there has been something. Something has popped up. Some story alleging them of this or that has come to light. And it has not stopped the Patriot train from moving forward at all. They continue to thrive. They continue to be an extremely profitable organization. They continue to be one of the great sports dynasties that we've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Nothing stops this team. Nothing. And the only thing I think that will be the eventual retirement of Brady and or Belichick. Until then, this crap is likely to go on. And that's what I think Patriot fatigue is. I don't. It's not just the idea that you probably thought when you heard it, like, oh God, everybody's just tired of the Patriots winning. That is a different kind of fatigue. Yeah. But to me, Patriot fatigue is just this idea that the more we hear about them in terms of scandal and deception, the more you actually just sort of become numb to it because it happens so often.
Yeah.
And they have become benefactors of this own thing that they have created. It is absolutely astonishing to me. It really is. It's unbelievable. I raised my glass to you guys. That's some amazing crap you pulled off in 20 years. It really is. You know what's funny? And to be honest, it's kind of like a couple days after they won the Super Bowl, my brother and I were on the phone, and I was like, and this goes to the other definition of Patriot fatigue, which is them winning so much. My brother and I were on the phone, and I was like, I have to be honest with you, as much as this sucks, it just doesn't sting as much as it has in the past few years. And I said, I think I'm just starting to get worn down by this team. I really do. I think. The hatred is still there. It's not lessening, and it's not going away. But my will and ability to fight it is not what it was. Part of that, also, too, a huge part of that, is because I'm not on Facebook anymore. And so I did not see anything. After they won the Super Bowl, I was not on Facebook. I didn't see anything from any of these people that I have spent X amount of years fighting with. I didn't see any of it, which I think helped me mentally just to stay away from that. And I just, and I saw it on Twitter, but again, on Twitter, that was all coming from strangers and people that I don't deal with on like a daily basis. So it didn't bother me. I don't know. But the bottom line, this organization just keeps chugging along, and these stories are going to continue to happen. They're going to happen. I can guarantee you at some point next year, Patriots and scandal is going to come up again. But will anybody ultimately care? Probably not.
Okay, all right. So let's, because there is Patriot fatigue, let's move on to something that we haven't talked about in a while, a real long while, and that's something that I'm pretty fired up to talk about. If I can hit the right button, right?
Get in the hole!
What? Got feedback?
No. I was waiting for Baba Booey. You didn't say
Baba
it.
Booey! Sorry, you're right. My bad. Off my game. It's wow.
You have the Patriot fatigue. All right.
Yeah, I do.
So, this is something. So, just in general, like I am excited. I've been excited for golf. Probably over the last month or so. Not just for golf on TV. I'm excited for golf in general because I like to play golf. I like going out and shooting. Playing 18 holes. I like going to the range. I like doing all that stuff. So. It's funny that this was on our list because I actually had a dream last night. So I was paying attention to Phil and, I was rooting him on, but I wasn't really glued in to the TV.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of the highlights and everything like that. But today, last night when I was sleeping, I had this dream that and it's funny because, I was paying a little attention to Phil. So of course I had this dream where I broke out my 64-degree wedge. I was playing golf in my dream on this nice course, beautiful course by the ocean. I was kind of, did you see that shot where he drove the ball? I can't remember what hole it was. Drove it and he was right on the edge of the water, right on the edge of the beach, and and then he ended up birdieing the hole. Yes. Well, I had a dream where I did something very similar, but my next shot was much closer. It was only about 50 yards away. But it was the elevation that I was at was about 30 to 40 feet high. So I had a high shot to hit, right? So I broke out my 64 because I had to lob it way up in the air and have it stop. Well, and the way that the feet are lying, it's kind of like leaning towards the ocean, right? So I'm kind of facing that way. And there was no beach here. It was just water right up against the rocks right next to where I was playing. All right.
Okay.
So I take this swing. I'm getting ready to take this swing. I'm looking. I got it all. I got all these people looking at me, watching me. I go and I open up the face a little bit more. I pull my club back, and the ball just rolls right into the water. was like, come on! I didn't even touch it. Just rolled right into the water. So that's how my golf season's probably looking like this year. But anyway, Phil Mickelson.
That's upsetting.
It was very. I was like, yeah, I would. Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny when I woke up. It actually made me laugh.
My dreams are a lot weirder. I'm not going to get into any of them, but that seems pretty mild compared to some of the crap that swims around in my head at night.
Well, of course, I'm not going to talk about anything too crazy. But ananyway, that was I thought it's relative.
I don't know, man. I have some weird dreams, especially in the past couple of years. I don't know what's going on. I might be under a lot of stress.
Yeah, probably. That's probably it. Let's head on over to golf. Phil Mickelson. Pebble Beach, where Phil was behind by 3 strokes and played so well, he's up by 3 strokes now with 2 to play after they had to postpone the match due to darkness because, there was an hour-long rain delay. There was a 2-hour-long hail delay. And I really feel like we are seeing a bit of a new Phil Mickelson here. Not like his game has changed all that much, but I think maybe his confidence and his mindset has a little bit.
Beating Tiger in the match.
Well, we talked about the match a lot towards the end of last year. Sure. And that golf season, we both said Phil needed that win more than Tiger. I feel like that catapulted Phil to having a good year this year. And I think that Phil coming out and playing as well as he did proves that he could actually have a big year. And that excites me. And it should excite all golf fans because if we can also get Tiger to put on some big days, then golf might well be back onto some greatness. And nothing is worse in sports than having a ton of parity. And we need some of that, we need some of the dominance back in golf. We need some of these guys, some of the herd to separate themselves and start to dominate again. And I don't expect Phil or Tiger to be the people that are going to dominate at this age, especially over a long course of time. But with their reputations, them being in the hunt is always good for the game. And I really do think if you watch that match, I watched the whole thing. I'm pretty certain that you watched most of it too.
Yeah.
The match, Phil looked like he really, really wanted to beat Tiger. And he wanted to beat him, and Tiger didn't seem like it was as much important to him. But when you step up and you go head to head against somebody, and you beat them, and someone that's kind of owned you over the course of your career, I think that's a big deal, and I think that this right here got a little bit of a monkey off his back.
Maybe.
It's a little bit of a stretch. I will say.
It was an exhibition, and it's tough for me to put a lot into it. I would agree with you though that it probably meant more to Phil than it did to Tiger, because I don't think Tiger had any mental hurdles in terms of Phil. So,
he's just got mental hurdles of his own game. That's all. I mean,
right.
He ended the year well, but
he's still got 9 majors on him, so
no. I don't think
I
think more head-to-head stuff that I think that was really what it comes down to, because Phil being able to in crunch time stay the course and play well and not have all those putting hiccups and all that.
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
my reason for excitement for this, of course, is we are heading into Masters season, and I always start to feel good about Phil when he's playing well heading into Masters season. And I want to actually say he did the same thing last year and did not play well at the Masters. So this doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But as we get close to April, and Phil playing a tough course like Pebble Beach, you want him to be at the top of his game. You want him to like you said, confidence is such a big thing for him. I really think it is. I think maybe more so for him than a lot of other guys, because even though he's gotten older, his skills you haven't really seen a major deterioration.
No, he's just as good.
Yeah, and
he goes and he puts up scores like he did just yesterday.
Right. He's 18 under.
Yeah.
So with a 3-stroke lead with 2, like you said, 2 holes left to play, and I'm sure he'll wrap this thing up and win. But I think this is big for him. I think
this is 23 minutes.
Yeah, I think this is the time when you really want to see Phil start rounding into shape, and mentally preparing himself for the Masters, because the Masters is, as he has proven, that's his tournament. He's got 3 green jackets. This is his tournament. He is big time in that, at Augusta. So And I would love to see, to your point about some parity, I would love to see on the Sunday at the Masters, like a final 2 pairings of like Tiger and Phil and like Rory and Jordan Spieth or something like that.
Or
that
Jason
would be awesome.
Day or Koepka or something
Or
like that.
Koepka,
Somebody that's gonna
yeah.
get hot, you know.
Your boy Brooks Koepka, yeah.
Oh, my boy. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, I know you love him.
Dustin Johnson, you know, any of those guys, really.
Yeah,
you need
I'd
some
like to
big
see some of
names
that, too.
there. You need some big names. Yeah.
I agree. I'd like to see some of that too.
Jordan Spieth
And
is my boy. I like Jordan Spieth. I like the way he plays. I know some people find him a little annoying.
maybe the sports gods will throw us a bone and somehow Tiger and Phil get paired together at the Masters.
And then it'll be the rematch.
The rematch, but the real match.
Real deal, yeah.
With a jacket on the line instead of, whatever it was, $10 million.
Just $10 million.
Just this chump change that they were fighting over, but yeah, I'm excited for Phil. I really am. He looks good. He looks confident. And he looks like the same guy. I mean, I know he's in his mid to late 40s now, but he still looks like the same guy. He still plays like the same guy.
He's what, in his mid 40s, mid to late 40s? 47?
I think he's mid. Yeah, I think he's around that. I think he's 46.
He's got
40.
3 years where he could still play really well. And then from 50 to 55, he'll still sneak in a win or two over the course of that 2 or 3 year span.
Yeah, so he's got 5 majors now. I mean, obviously, as a Mickelson fan, I would love to see him win the U.S. Open because that completes the career slam for him.
Yeah, of course.
I'd like to see him win one more Masters and one more Open. And one Open, I should say. That, I think, if he had 4 Masters, we already know he's a Hall of Famer, but I would like to see, I'd like to see him get to 7. 7 would be a nice, pretty big number, for a guy who at one point people thought would never win any.
Well, and because he had a long drought.
He did. Well, he was for so many years the best to never win. Mm-hmm. And of the guys who carried that mantle, he was probably still the most prominent. I mean, Sergio finally got the monkey off his back.
I mean, he's only finished second in the U.S. Open 6 times.
Oh, it's unreal. It's unbelievable. I mean, he is the ultimate bridesmaid at that tournament. He really is. And that's, yeah. I mean, and there have been some of those are, some he did kind of choke away. There are others where he was never even in the lead, and he just happened to finish in second. It wasn't like they weren't choke jobs.
Yeah.
If I it's off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. Like probably half of those are probably choke jobs, and the other 3 are probably just like he was there, he was in it, but he wasn't really like threatening. But he just ended up, coming in second. It just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Do
you know? So it's funny that Phil Mickelson this year, depending on how he plays, he could get into either 8. He could be tied for 8 wins, the most 8 top wins in the PGA history. He could be 8th overall by the end of this year.
Wow.
He needs to win. He needs to win 3 tournaments this year. He's on pace to win 1. So if he wins that, he's going to 44. So Hagen.
So there's 8 golfers in front of him.
Hagen, Walter. Hagen.
Can I take a guess?
All of them?
Yeah, let me try.
Oh my lord! If you get this, I'll.
All right. Jack.
Of course.
Arnie.
Yes.
Tiger.
Yes.
Ben Hogan.
Yes.
Walter Hagen.
Yes.
Nick Faldo.
Nope.
What about oh god, what's his name? Tom.
I'll let you know there are no Toms.
Okay, sorry.
So
what I got?
Is that what you're trying to think of?
No. I got 5, right? So I got 5 so far.
You have Tiger, Jack, Ben, Arnie,
Hagen, Hogan. Hagen and Hogan.
Yeah.
What about Greg Norman? No. I'm running out of steam here.
This is all
right.
This is, yeah. So,
give me the argument. Yes.
So we have Sam Snead.
Snead, okay.
Who's the number 1.
Got
82 wins. Tiger's right behind him with 80.
Yeah.
Nicholas is behind him with 73. Then it goes Ben Hogan, 64. Arnold Palmer, 62. Byron Nelson, 52.
Nelson. Ah, yeah.
This one you would have never gotten because I would have never gotten this either. Billy Casper, 51.
Oh,
Walter Hagen, 45. Phil Mickelson, 43.
Okay. I didn't totally embarrass myself.
No,
those other ones I
Tom
would
Watson is who you were trying to think of.
Tom Watson, yes, that's who I was. Yes. Ugh, yikes. Where was he?
He is tied for 11th.
Oh, okay.
So close.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited for
Snead, Casper, and Nelson. I actually would not have gotten, so I don't feel that bad about that.
Yeah, Sam Snead. I know he's always the guy that he was a compiler. Like the dude just won over the course of 3 decades. It's amazing. Yeah. But all right, so let's move on. I mean, we can actually wrap that up, and we don't need to talk about much golf more anymore. We can get right into. Is there? Oh, wait. Is it?
Where do you think you're going? I'm going to sort it out.
Sorts. Aladdin.
Oh, this movie looks bad.
I've been putting.
Oh my god!
Like
it looks
pictures
so...
on the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see if I can put Aladdin's picture on the screen.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Bloated blue Will Smith looks like he ate Papa Smurf. It's not cool. It's bad. This movie's going to be bad. It looks really awful. I mean, this is going to be like one of those Rotten Tomatoes 2%ers or something. It's going to stink. It just looks so bad. And then like, you know how
I bet you it makes $500+ million. Oh,
I'm sure it's going to make a ton of money. But you know how like sometimes you go into Will Smith movies and you say, I hope he doesn't Will Smith the F out of it. This is one of those movies where he's going to Will Smith it, and it's going to hurt. Like I remember the last time I brought that phrase up was Suicide Squad. Remember thinking, please don't let Will Smith the F out of Deadshot, and he didn't. I thought Will Smith actually did a pretty good job in that movie, despite that movie being subpar. I thought Will Smith was actually one of the somewhat bright spots in there. He didn't Will Smith it. This one, he looks like he's going to Will Smith it. And that's not a good thing. When you Will Smith something, that's not a good thing.
Well, Robin Williams did, but that was great.
It's a bad adjective. Yeah, but Robin Williams was an all-time great.
Improviser,
look, by the way, I don't dislike Will Smith. I don't. I actually do like him. I think there are certain movies where he's been absolutely fantastic. He obviously had a marginally good singing career at one point. I'm not ripping the guy.
Marginally?
Yeah.
He was getting Grammys like it was his job.
Yeah, I know. And of course he sings one of the most iconic opening songs to a television sitcom ever.
In West Philadelphia.
Which we all know all the words to. And we're not going to do it, but we know all the words. It's like how you never forget the words to the Toys R Us song. So he's got that. The guy's legacy is tremendous, but he does have the ability to Will Smith things every now and then. And this looks like one of those movies where he's going to do it. And also, like, oh my god, I don't know what it is, but like the costumes in this movie look bad. Like they just look bad. Like it looks like Disney ran out of budget.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, like the guy who plays Aladdin. Oh, there it is. Look at him.
Oh, you can see. So did you see what the guy wrote? It said, Will Smith's genie is what appears in my room when I have sleep paralysis.
Yeah, and there's no, like, that's why I think Disney has to, Disney needs to kind of know when to say when with some of these live action movies. Aladdin would have been one where I would have said, how are we going to make this genie look even remotely legit? Mm-hmm. And then this is what you spit out. Another one that I think they should have avoided, and it's one of my favorite Disney movies, is Lion King. They just should not do a live action of Lion King, because how are you live actioning these animals? They're all going to be CGI animals. So how is it really live action? It's just CGI. And I bet you there'll be some like stock photography video of, zebras running in the wild and crap like that, but for the most part, that's going to be a CGI movie.
Absolutely. It's 100%. 100% CGI.
I mean, again, we know why Disney does all this. It's for money. But this looks bad. Is it Toys R Us I can play with?
So Callahan wanted he wants to hear you sing it.
thanks to video games. It's the biggest toy store there is. Wanna grow up? Maybe if I did, would be a Toys R Us kid. Still remember it.
Oh, good times.
Remember it.
Good job. Thanks. Appreciate that.
In West Philadelphia. No.
Break that out.
Don't do it.
The Golden Girls? That's another catchy one.
Ooh, do I remember the Golden Girls word for word?
I don't think so. You don't think so?
I don't think so. I'd have to hear the start of it, and then maybe I'd be able to, but I don't.
Thank you for being.
Oh, yeah. The Wonder Years I could do, but that's an actual song, too, so.
Ready? Here you go, man. This is just for you.
Thank you for being a friend.
Okay.
Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Wow, look at you go. Look at you go with the Golden Girls song. That's impressive.
Great. Who didn't love Sophia? Come on. Sophia was the best.
Are they all dead now?
I don't think so.
Is Blanche? I feel like Blanche might still be alive.
She probably is.
The whore, right? She was the whore, wasn't she? Yeah.
Betty White's still alive.
Oh, that's right. Of course, Betty's still alive.
Betty White. She's a national treasure.
She
Just like
really
Bill
is.
Walton.
For very different reasons, but yeah, sure, I'll give you that.
All right, so I think that's pretty much it for our show today, right? Did you want anything else? Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Is there anything else? There's not a lot in baseball going on right now.
There is nothing in baseball right now going on.
I mean,
There's
again,
been nothing in baseball all offseason. They do have some rule changes that they're trying to implement and all that kind of stuff, which is going to be kind of interesting and cool to see.
You and I have we talked about where we both stand on the shift? I am not in favor of getting rid of the shift at all. And I think you're on the other side of that. But
oh, yeah, I totally want to get rid of it.
I hate the idea of getting rid of the shift. And my primary reason behind it is because, and I've said this before, so I hate to sound like a broken record, but my feeling is, look, Major League Baseball, there are approximately, 700 baseball players?
Yep.
These are, in theory, the 700 best in the world at what they do.
In theory.
And right, again, in theory. And my feeling is, if you are good enough to be on one of these teams, if you are this great, you should be able to hit the ball where they ain't. And that is, I mean, and it's very simplistic, but I just feel like it's a strategy. A shift is a strategy. To me, it's the same thing as the hack-a-shack. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to get fouled because you're going to miss free throws, learn how to shoot free throws.
Yeah, but they don't do that hack-a-shack the whole game. So like I think that you should be allowed to shift, but you should have a certain amount of shifts available to you because this is. But
the majority of players do not get shifted on.
No. The shifts happen in the league are outrageous. Like, even the Yankees. There was a time. They shifted like hundreds of times throughout the season. It's been ridiculous. Like, so what I really think they should do is they need to take a hint from the NFL, and they need to start doing things to help promote offense. And the way to promote offense, you need to probably get rid of the shift because batting averages have come way down, on base percentage, everything has come way, way down. And and the ratings aren't getting much better. So you need to, what's the thing that saved baseball after the strike in the mid-90s? All those home runs, the steroid use, but all those home runs of what saved baseball, and all the fans came running back.
The year with the asterisk
with McGuire and Sosa going head to head, and it was great. It was great for baseball because there was a ton of offense. That's where the whole thing, chicks dig the long ball, all that stuff happened, and numbers were huge. They need to bring back offensive numbers, and they need to figure out a way. I'm sorry for the pitchers that this is going to be going against, but you need to do something to help the offensive numbers get better. You need to do things to make, because it's a sexier game. when bigger numbers are scored.
I won't disagree with that.
I don't personally, as a baseball fan, I mean, as a person who played baseball, yeah, I'd want every advantage I could get on the defensive side to make sure I could get as many I could get as many plays as possible and get as many outs as possible. That's what I would want. But as a fan who wants to see the game grow and not get swallowed up by other leagues like the NBA and NFL who are doing everything in their power to help offenses grow, which makes for
That's
better
for sure.
TV.
If you watch an NBA game, they don't play a whole lot of defense there.
And if you want to see that, if you want to see big stuff like that happen, you're going to have to ease up on some of the rules so that offense is going to. That's why they're thinking about bringing the DH into the NL. They need better, bigger numbers on the board, and that's the only way to do it. Is just to figure out ways to add more offense. So hopefully it'll work, whatever way they decide to go about it. But I don't know. I'm fine. I'm fine with it either way because it's not going to hurt me watching the game. But I do think as fans in general, I think having more offense could get more people watching the game and easing up on celebrations too. Like, let the guys celebrate. Let them have fun because you don't want to have them looking like it's a corporate business running around the base paths on any home runs, really. Like, you don't want them looking like that. You want them to look like they're having fun to attract the kids to start picking up a bat and a ball in the summertime and playing. Little league numbers have been dropping like crazy. Like, it's outrageous how much NFL, like my son knows he can't play football because of all the head injuries that are out there. He can't. Yeah. I will refuse to let him play football. Yeah. Now, he really wants to play football because it looks like it's so much fun. Like, he sees them celebrate in the end zone and have a good time. And then he sees in baseball when somebody strikes out somebody, and throws a fist pump, that's exciting. But it never happens because people get in trouble or people get yelled at. It's the unknown rules, the unspeakable. It's stupid. Let's let them have fun. I don't know.
Well, speaking of having fun, Tim Callahan has mentioned twice now, once via text to me and once on our chat, that he would like us to discuss A-Rod's outfit at the Grammys last night. And it is something special. Let me see here. Let me see if we can get a look here. It's hard to describe, really. It appears to be
very A-Rod.
Yeah, also, is it weird that, I just dropped my phone. Hold on now, we got technical difficulties. Why does he have his hand placed on his thigh like that? Like, he's got his hand on his own thigh.
Because you don't want to have it in your pocket. Wouldn't you want to rub your thigh?
I don't know, it looks weird.
If you're A-Rod?
Looks, I guess, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, I'd rather rub J-Lo's thigh, but she looks really weird in this picture, by the way. Like,
she got destroyed too about being a part of the
mannequin. She got some mannequin kind of look going on. That hat is just enormous.
Maybe A-Rod was standing next to a cutout.
Stayed that hat for the Kentucky Derby. There's like every pose, she's got like this same look on her face with like the fish lips, looking like she came straight out of the Botox clinic. It's really weird. There's a lot of weird stuff going on here. Boy, some of these outfits last night were...
So one of the other things that Tim posted here was, if there's limits on shifts, shouldn't there be a limit on the number of times a pitcher can throw a curveball? No, because that's human error. If he could throw a really good curveball, that's great. And then he can fist pump and he can walk off the mound. But if he doesn't, the shift does nothing for the game to add excitement.
Where would you put your hand, Brian? I just said I would put my hand on J-Lo's thigh.
What a stud. He misses him in baseball. Yeah, as Red Sox fans, I'm sure he does.
I'm sure. Yeah, of course, I'm sure you do.
All right, we got to go. This show's running long. We got to go. This episode 164. You can find us on the internet, Twitter, at Shane and Brayman. And
you're not a good finisher.
Facebook.com/Shane and the Brayman. And
where can people find you on Twitter?
They can find me at Einhornuswinkel.
Okay, good. They can find me at _Bry_man.
Thank you guys for watching. However you took this in, whatever it's podcast or that, you can find our website at www.sportsandsorts.libsyn.com. And we will be back again on Saturday around 10-ish.
Probably.
10-ish.
We'll see.
Unless nothing happened. Like, this was a rough one. Like, there wasn't a lot. But we made it a lot. I think we made the show pretty darn good.
Yeah. There's not much to talk about right now.
It's good. We can talk about Aladdin and how puffy he looks.
He does look puffy.
Puffy, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he did that on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, he's a genie. I mean, he's got to be a little puff, right?
Well, there it goes. He did. He looks like he ate Papa Smurf.
I'm intrigued by the movie. I don't think I'll see it in the theater unless my kids really want to go, but whatever.
Yeah. There are some movies that we should talk about that are coming out soon.
Oh, man, there are so many good ones that are coming out.
That could be a Saturday episode.
What is that one with Statham and The Rock?
Oh, Hobbs and Shaw?
Hobbs and Shaw, that's what it is. I couldn't remember the Shaw, yeah. Oh, that looks
I have become a very big Jason Statham fan.
Good.
Ever since the movie Spy?
Yeah,
yes. Oh, my God.
He was
he is so funny. He's so funny in that movie. The lines are just out of control. It's just ridiculous. It was really, like, I really became, like, a fan of his after that movie. Because
I did need to come out with a Spy, too. I would.
Yeah. Because before that, I thought he was just kind of like the dumb muscle guy. Now I think there's a whole different layer to him. That was just like a comedic layer that just I did not know existed. Yeah. And I actually liked him in the movie The Meg.
I think Hobbs and Shaw looks like it's going to be pretty good too. Like with their back and forth.
You know, the truth is, I have not. I think I saw the first Fast and Furious. I never watched any after that, but I might go see this. Like, I might go see this, even, it will obviously be out of context a little bit, having not seen, like, the previous 6 or 7, but I kind of want to see it just because I want to see him and The Rock together.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, this does not look like the Fast and Furious movies. Because the Fast and Furious movies, the last, I think, it looks like an offshoot of it. So it kind of reminds me of like the other guys when him and Samuel L. Jackson were together.
Yeah.
Like that.
Right.
It's such an over the top, like, you know.
These are like the other guys.
Yeah. It's so good. I can't wait to see this movie. I'm really excited for that. That I want to see in the theater for sure. All right, thank you guys for listening. Thanks for you guys for watching. However you took it in. Peace out. See you on Saturday.
Stay classy, Planet Club.